Welcome back to our channel Rare Coins Hub. In today's video we are going to explore something really interesting and exciting. Stay with us and don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started. In the world of numismatics, certain coins transcend their role as mere currency, becoming emblematic of a moment in time, a story in history. The 1967 one-dime coin is one such remarkable piece. At first glance, it may appear to be just another dime, a small, seemingly insignificant coin. However, as we dive into its rich history, its design evolution, the pivotal events surrounding its minting, and the reasons for its impressive value of $148,000 today, you'll soon realize that this coin is anything but ordinary. The United States Mint produced the 1967 dime during a period of significant transition for the U.S. economy and for the nation itself. As the world stood on the brink of cultural and social upheaval during the 1960s, the U.S. coinage system was also experiencing shifts. It was the height of the post-World War II era, a time when American culture was undergoing a rapid transformation, and the government, under President Lyndon B. Johnson, had entered the complex global stage of the Cold War. 1967 was a year filled with historical significance. The year marked the escalation of the Vietnam War, the rise of the civil rights movement, and a series of societal changes that would shape the future of America. But as history was being made on the world stage, the U.S. Mint was quietly producing coins that would carry the marks of this dynamic time. The 1967 dime was minted as part of the Roosevelt Dime series, which had been in circulation since 1946. The Roosevelt Dime, featuring the likeness of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, was designed by artist John R. Sinek and was initially introduced to honor Roosevelt's legacy, particularly his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. Roosevelt's image was carefully chosen to appear on the dime due to his strong association with the Social Security Act, which was signed into law in 1935 and remains a cornerstone of U.S. social welfare policy. By 1967, however, the country was facing new challenges. The U.S. Mint was confronted with the increasing cost of production for coins. The government had been grappling with inflation, and coinage was becoming more expensive to manufacture, especially as the demand for nickel, copper, and silver rose. As a result, the 1967 dime, like other coins from the 1960s, contained a mixture of metals that reflected the changes in the minting process. One of the key aspects that make the 1967 dime so interesting in numismatic circles is the way the coin was minted. By the mid-1960s, there were growing concerns about the value of the metals in U.S. coinage. As silver prices surged, the cost of producing silver coins was becoming unsustainable. This led the Mint to explore alternatives to keep up with the demand for coins while also dealing with the rising prices of raw materials. In 1965, the U.S. Mint made a bold decision to eliminate silver from most circulating coins. The dime, previously made with 90% silver, now contained only silver-clad copper, a mixture of 75% copper and 25% nickel. The decision to change the composition of the dime was made as part of a broader strategy to reduce the costs of minting coins and to ensure that the nation's coinage could continue to circulate without bankrupting the mint. For the 1967 dime, this shift in composition was particularly notable. By this time, the Mint was focused on maintaining a balance between producing coins that were cost-effective and maintaining the quality and integrity of the U.S. currency system. While the coin would no longer be composed of pure silver, it would still carry the same familiar design and denomination that had made it a staple in the pockets of everyday Americans for over 2 decades. Despite the changes in the coin's composition, the 1967 dime retained the familiar design that had graced dimes for over 20 years. On the obverse, we see the profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, rendered in a graceful and dignified manner. Sinek's design, which had been chosen through a design competition after Roosevelt's death, is a reflection of the president's strength and resolve. The reverse of the coin features a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. The torch, representing freedom and unity, is flanked by the olive branch, which signifies peace, and the oak branch, which stands for strength and stability. These symbols were chosen to evoke a sense of hope and resilience, qualities that Roosevelt embodied during his presidency. For collectors, the appeal of the 1967 dime extends far beyond its composition and design. The coin's history is interwoven with the shifting tides of U.S. currency production, the social climate of the 1960s, and the enduring legacy of Franklin D. Roosevelt himself. While most 1967 dimes were struck in large quantities and circulated widely, there is one key feature that elevates the coin's rarity and its current value. The 1967 dime is known to have been struck with a minting error that has become the subject of intense collector interest: the 1967 double die obverse error. This error occurs when the coin is struck multiple times, resulting in a doubling of the features on the obverse, particularly in the details of Roosevelt's portrait and the inscription "Liberty" above him. The double die obverse error is a result of a mistake in the minting process, where the dies used to strike the coins are misaligned, causing the image on the coin to appear doubled. While such errors are relatively rare, they are highly sought after by collectors, especially those who specialize in error coins. The 1967 double die obverse dime is a prime example of how minor defects can transform a standard coin into something far more valuable. Depending on the condition and the severity of the error, the 1967 double die obverse dime can command prices upwards of $148,000 at auctions. Coins in near-perfect condition, with the doubling clearly visible, are especially prized, as collectors are drawn to their uniqueness and the fact that they represent an anomaly in the minting process. The 1967 dime, particularly the double die obverse error, has become a cornerstone in the world of coin collecting. It represents a fascinating intersection of history, minting errors, and the unpredictable nature of the coin market. As the years have gone by, the value of these rare coins has steadily increased, and they are now considered some of the most desirable coins from the 20th century. Numismatists often point to the 1967 dime as a perfect example of how a minor mistake during the minting process can lead to a significant financial windfall for a collector lucky enough to find one. The excitement of discovering a double die obverse 1967 dime is a thrilling experience for any numismatist, as it's a rare opportunity to hold a coin that not only holds historical significance but is also incredibly valuable. As we move forward in our journey to explore some of the most valuable U.S. coins, it's clear that the 1967 dime remains a standout piece in the world of numismatics. Its combination of historical relevance, design elegance, and rare minting errors make it a true treasure in the eyes of collectors, and its remarkable current value of $148,000 serves as a testament to the enduring appeal of this iconic coin. The 1975 one-dime coin stands as a remarkable piece in the world of numismatics. At first glance, it may appear similar to other dimes of the era, but as we delve into its history, production, and the significance of its errors, we begin to see just how unique this particular coin truly is. What makes the 1975 dime so special in the world of coin collecting, and why has it skyrocketed in value to a staggering $132,000 in certain conditions? To understand the significance of the 1975 dime, we must first understand the context in which it was produced. The United States in the mid-1970s was at a crossroads. Economically, the country was grappling with the consequences of stagflation, a period marked by stagnant economic growth, high inflation, and rising unemployment. Internationally, the United States was recovering from the aftermath of the Vietnam War, and there was a heightened sense of tension in the global political arena, especially with the Cold War still in full swing. The 1975 dime was struck during a period when the U.S. Mint was facing rising costs for coin production. The 1960s and early 1970s had already seen a transition away from the use of precious metals in coinage, and by 1975, coins were predominantly composed of copper and nickel. The cost of minting coins had increased considerably due to inflation, and the mint was struggling to balance the need for currency with the rising cost of materials. However, it wasn't just economic uncertainty that made 1975 such a pivotal year. In terms of coinage, 1975 was a year of transition and experimentation. The 1975 one-dime coin came at a time when there was considerable public debate over the value of certain coins in circulation, especially those made with silver. While dimes from the early 20th century contained 90% silver, the dimes struck after 1965 were made of a copper-nickel alloy. For numismatists, this shift in composition marked a shift in the intrinsic value of the coin, but beyond its metal content, the 1975 dime was also part of a period of transition for U.S. coinage design. The same Roosevelt dime that had been in circulation since 1946 continued its reign, but it was part of a broader trend of questioning whether the designs on U.S. coins should evolve to better reflect the changing values of society. The 1975 dime is, like its predecessors, a tribute to President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Designed by John R. Sinek, the Roosevelt dime had been in circulation since 1946, a few months after Roosevelt's death, as a way to honor the president's significant contributions to the country. The dime's design features a left-facing portrait of Roosevelt, showcasing the simplicity and dignity of the president, who led the country through the Great Depression and World War II. On the reverse side of the coin, Roosevelt's image is flanked by the classic symbols of American values: a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch. The torch represents liberty, the olive branch symbolizes peace, and the oak branch stands for strength. These symbols would come to define the Roosevelt Dime series as a lasting symbol of the nation's resilience and unity. However, the 1975 one-dime coin holds an additional layer of significance for collectors due to the ongoing debate about the future of American coinage in the mid-1970s. This was a time when the U.S. Mint was making significant decisions about the long-term use of precious metals in coins, with some pushing for the redesign of currency to better reflect contemporary America. Despite these larger debates, the 1975 dime remained unchanged in its design, but it was still produced with the same combination of copper and nickel as its predecessors. The coin's value, both in terms of its face value and its metal content, was less than its earlier counterparts, but its design remained timeless. The 1975 one-dime coin was struck in large quantities, with the Philadelphia Mint, Denver Mint, and San Francisco Mint all involved in its production. However, this production process wasn't without its challenges. As we've seen with other coins from this era, the U.S. Mint had to adjust to changing economic conditions, particularly the rising cost of minting. In 1975, the U.S. Mint was continuing its efforts to address the rising costs of silver and the increasing demand for coins. The copper-nickel-clad dimes produced in 1975 were much cheaper to mint than their silver predecessors, but they also lacked the intrinsic value of silver. This transition to base metals for most circulating coins would continue through the 1980s, making the 1975 dime an important link in the chain of American numismatic history. Despite the coin's mass production, it wasn't long before collectors began to notice irregularities in the minting process. Specifically, die cracks and misstrikes began to appear on certain 1975 dimes, leading to the emergence of error coins that would become highly prized in the numismatic community. Much like other rare coins, the 1975 dime gained significant attention due to minting errors. In particular, coins that were misstruck, especially those with die cracks or off-center strikes, began to appear in circulation. These errors, which resulted from issues in the minting process, were the key to the coin's value as a collector's item. One of the most notable errors in the 1975 dime series was the appearance of clashed dies. This happens when two dies, used to strike the coin's design, come into direct contact with each other. The result is often an overlaid or ghost-like image of the design on the coin. In some cases, this effect can be subtle, making it difficult to identify unless the coin is examined under magnification. Collectors who are able to spot these rare error coins are willing to pay a premium for them. Dimes from 1975 that feature pronounced die cracks, clashed dies, or other visible errors can command prices in the $132,000 range, particularly when they are in excellent condition. The rarity of these error coins, combined with the historical context of the year in which they were minted, adds to their desirability. for coin collectors, the 1975 dime represents much more than just a piece of currency. It is a snapshot of a nation undergoing economic and political change. The minting errors associated with the coin add an element of intrigue, as they provide a tangible connection to the imperfections that sometimes arise during the minting process. For numismatists, these coins are more than just errors, they are windows into the history of U.S. coin production, providing insights into the conditions and challenges faced by the U.S. Mint at the time. The 1975 dime is an essential piece of the larger story of American currency. Though it may not have been produced with precious metals like earlier dimes, its role in the evolution of U.S. coinage cannot be understated. As collectors seek out the most pristine examples of the 1975 dime, the demand for these coins, particularly those with noticeable minting errors, continues to drive up their value. In conclusion, the 1975 one-dime coin is not just a relic of the 1970s but a symbol of change, both in terms of U.S. currency and the broader cultural landscape. Its value, now reaching upwards of $132,000, is a testament to the unpredictable nature of numismatics. For collectors, it's a chance to own a piece of history, one that reflects the struggles and triumphs of a transformative period in American society. The 1977 one-dime coin stands as a fascinating artifact in American numismatics, offering a snapshot of a nation that was still grappling with the challenges of the post-Vietnam era and the fallout from the economic turmoil of the 1970s. At first glance, this dime might seem like just another in a long line of Roosevelt Dimes, but a closer look reveals why the 1977 dime has become so highly sought after by collectors, reaching a value of $126,000 in today's market. To understand the significance of the 1977 dime, we must first look at the larger historical context in which it was produced. The 1970s was a decade marked by rising inflation, soaring oil prices, and economic instability. The U.S. was experiencing the consequences of stagflation, a term used to describe the combination of high inflation and stagnant economic growth. Unemployment rates were also high, and the country was struggling to recover from the economic setbacks caused by the Vietnam War and the global energy crisis. In addition to these economic struggles, the U.S. Mint was undergoing significant changes in the way it produced coins. As costs rose, especially in relation to the materials used for minting, the 1977 dime would be made of a copper-nickel-clad composition rather than silver, following the policy changes initiated in the mid-1960s. While these dimes did not contain precious metals like their predecessors, they would still carry a deep historical significance, especially as the world of coin collecting began to evolve in the years to come. The 1977 one-dime coin continued to feature the iconic design that had become synonymous with the Roosevelt Dime series. On the obverse, the profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, as sculpted by John R. Sinek, graced the coin's face. Roosevelt had become a symbol of leadership and resilience during the Great Depression and World War II, and his image on the dime served as a tribute to his lasting impact on the United States. The reverse of the coin, as with all dimes in the Roosevelt series, featured a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch. These three symbols represented core American values: liberty, the torch; peace, the olive branch; and strength, the oak branch. While these symbols had been in use for decades, they continued to resonate with Americans during a period when the country was navigating its own struggles, be it political, economic, or social. Yet, despite its design remaining unchanged, the 1977 dime found itself becoming a subject of numismatic interest. The simplicity and elegance of the design, coupled with the economic context of the late 1970s, made this particular coin a desirable item for collectors and investors alike. The Roosevelt Dime series as a whole was already deeply ingrained in U.S. history, and the 1977 dime, despite its relatively small face value, would come to hold greater value for reasons beyond its appearance. By 1977, the U.S. Mint had fully transitioned to using clad coinage, meaning that the dimes of the 1970s were no longer made from silver. Instead, they were minted from a copper-nickel alloy, a change that began in the mid-1960s due to rising silver prices. This shift had a profound impact on the value of dimes, as the metal content itself no longer reflected the intrinsic worth of the coins. This transition was part of the broader trend toward clad coinage, which also included quarters and half dollars. The U.S. Mint had made the decision to replace silver with a cheaper, more abundant metal mixture to counterbalance inflation and rising production costs. For the 1977 dime, this change meant that the coin was now composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it a much lower intrinsic value than previous dimes that were minted with 90% silver. While the change in metal composition affected the market value of the 1977 dime, it was still widely used as everyday currency and circulated in large quantities. The Philadelphia Mint, Denver Mint, and San Francisco Mint all contributed to the production of dimes in 1977, with the mint marks on the reverse side indicating where each coin was struck. However, despite the large production numbers, some 1977 dimes have become rare and valuable due to errors in the minting process. These errors, which range from die cracks to off-center strikes, have captured the attention of collectors looking for rarities. As with other U.S. coins from this era, the minting process was not always perfect, and these imperfections are exactly what makes certain 1977 dimes so valuable today. The 1977 one-dime coin became particularly valuable due to a series of minting errors that occurred during its production. These errors, while not as widespread as those seen in other years, have added a layer of intrigue and rarity to the coin. One of the most notable errors found on 1977 dimes was the double strike error, which occurred when the coin was struck multiple times, resulting in a blurred or overlapping design. These coins are rare, but when they appear on the market, they can fetch a substantial price. Additionally, die cracks and misaligned strikes were also observed on some 1977 dimes, further increasing the coin's appeal to collectors. The presence of these minting flaws makes the coin unique, and collectors are always on the lookout for examples with noticeable errors, as they hold far more value than their standard counterparts. These error coins, depending on the severity of the mistake and the condition of the coin, can command prices in the $126,000 range. The allure of owning a coin that was struck imperfectly but is now regarded as a historical and collectible item is a significant part of what makes the 1977 dime so appealing to collectors. From a collector's perspective, the 1977 dime is much more than a small coin that circulated in the late 1970s. Its value lies in its rarity, the story it tells about the challenges of the 1970s, and the minting errors that have made certain examples of the coin highly sought after. For numismatists, the 1977 dime is an example of how a seemingly unremarkable coin can take on a life of its own in the world of collecting. The 1977 dime also represents the intersection of historical events and the evolution of U.S. coinage. While it may not have contained silver, as many earlier dimes did, the coin's place in the broader context of American currency remains undeniable. In a time of economic uncertainty, the 1977 dime was a reliable piece of currency that reflected both the challenges and the perseverance of the American people. The demand for error coins, combined with the historical backdrop of the 1977 dime, has driven up the value of these coins significantly. For those fortunate enough to own one of the rare, error-struck 1977 dimes, the reward is not just monetary, it's a tangible connection to a pivotal period in American history. The 2004 one-dime coin represents a significant chapter in the ongoing story of U.S. coinage. A piece of currency that may initially seem unassuming at first glance, the 2004 dime carries with it a rich history and a series of features that set it apart in the realm of numismatics. Though it may appear to be just another dime in the long line of Roosevelt Dimes, the 2004 one-dime coin is a reflection of both the era it was minted in and the advancements in minting technology that had taken place since the coin's first production in the 1940s. The 2004 dime was minted during a period of economic stability in the United States. The U.S. economy had experienced a period of growth following the brief recession of the early 2000s, and by the time this dime was struck, the country was seeing positive changes in its financial landscape. However, the 2004 dime was also created at a time when the U.S. Mint was pushing the boundaries of technology and precision in coin production. As a result, it wasn't just the historical context or the state of the economy that made the 2004 dime special, it was also the innovations in minting processes that made this coin a noteworthy example in the world of numismatics. The 2004 one-dime coin was minted in the aftermath of the September 11 attacks, which had a profound impact on the U.S. and its economy. The period following 9/11 was marked by economic challenges, including a brief recession, but it also laid the groundwork for the economic growth that would follow in the mid-2000s. The U.S. government worked to stabilize the economy through various measures, including fiscal policies and tax cuts, while the Federal Reserve kept interest rates relatively low to encourage spending and investment. From a global perspective, the 2004 dime was minted during a time when the United States was still the world's leading economic and military superpower, despite the challenges posed by the aftermath of the attacks. Domestically, the American people were adjusting to a new world order, one shaped by increased security concerns and a heightened awareness of global conflicts, particularly the war in Iraq, which began in 2003. As the country was rebuilding and adapting, the U.S. Mint continued to produce currency that reflected the evolving identity of the nation. This historical backdrop not only shapes the context in which the 2004 dime was minted but also provides a lens through which we can view the changes that took place in the country during this time of transition. The 2004 one-dime coin features the classic design that has become synonymous with Roosevelt Dimes. On the obverse side of the coin, President Franklin D. Roosevelt is depicted in a left-facing profile. His image, designed by John R. Sinek, has been the standard for the Roosevelt Dime series since its introduction in 1946. Roosevelt, who served as President of the United States from 1933 until his death in 1945, is revered for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, and his presence on the dime is a fitting tribute to his enduring legacy. On the reverse side of the coin, the torch, olive branch, and oak branch continue to symbolize the values of liberty, peace, and strength that have been a hallmark of U.S. coinage since the early 20th century. These symbols have remained largely unchanged over the years, and they continue to represent the ideals that form the foundation of American society. While the design of the 2004 dime remained consistent with previous versions, there were subtle changes in the way the coin was produced. The quality of the strike and the clarity of the design were enhanced due to improvements in minting technology, making the 2004 dime one of the clearest and most precisely struck coins of its time. However, the 2004 dime also has its own unique characteristics that set it apart from previous years. For one, the dime's composition remained the same as in previous years, copper-nickel clad, with a 91.67% copper core and a 8.33% nickel outer layer. This composition was part of the larger transition that had begun in the 1960s when the U.S. Mint moved away from using precious metals in coinage. Although this change resulted in coins that were less valuable in terms of their metal content, it did help the mint reduce production costs and continue to meet the nation's demand for currency. The 2004 one-dime coin was minted at both the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint, with mint marks appearing on the reverse side of the coin to indicate the origin of each piece. The San Francisco Mint also contributed to the production of proof versions of the coin, which are specially struck for collectors and often feature a higher level of detail and a mirrored finish. The 2004 dime was produced in vast quantities, with billions of these coins being minted to meet the needs of daily transactions. However, despite the large number of coins produced, the quality control at the U.S. Mint had been greatly improved by this time, leading to sharper strikes and a higher level of consistency among the coins. The 2004 dime is a product of this high level of precision and innovation, which is part of what has made it a standout example in modern U.S. coinage. However, as with many coins from this period, the 2004 dime did experience some minting errors that have added to its allure among collectors. One of the most notable errors found on certain 2004 dimes was the double strike error, which occurs when the coin is struck twice, resulting in a blurred or offset image. These types of errors can make a coin much more valuable, as they are seen as rare occurrences that reflect imperfections in the minting process. The double strike error on some 2004 dimes has helped elevate the coin's value in the numismatic market. In addition to the double strike, other errors, such as off-center strikes, die cracks, and misaligned dies, have also been found on certain 2004 dimes. These errors can make a particular coin stand out and become much more valuable than its correctly struck counterparts. The appeal of the 2004 one-dime coin among collectors can be attributed to a variety of factors. First and foremost, the 2004 dime is part of the Roosevelt Dime series, which is one of the most popular and enduring coin series in U.S. history. Roosevelt Dimes have been in continuous production since 1946, and collectors have long been drawn to them for their aesthetic appeal, their historical significance, and the consistency of the design. In addition, the 2004 dime holds special value due to its place in the history of U.S. coinage. The 2000s were a period of technological advancement in the minting process, and the coins produced during this time are often seen as symbols of the mint's ability to innovate and improve its production methods. The clarity of the design, the sharpness of the strike, and the overall quality of the 2004 dime make it a standout example of modern U.S. coinage. However, it's the rarity of certain error coins that has driven up the value of the 2004 dime in the collector's market. Coins with minting errors, such as the double strike or misaligned dies, are highly sought after by numismatists. As with other coins that feature errors, the rarity of these pieces makes them particularly valuable. For example, a 2004 dime with a pronounced double strike error could fetch a price of $112,000 or more, depending on the severity of the mistake and the overall condition of the coin. The 2004 dime also represents a bridge between traditional coinage and modern numismatic collecting. While it may not have the historical weight of some of the older, silver-based coins, its place in the timeline of U.S. currency gives it a unique appeal. The 2004 dime, particularly those with error varieties, has become a must-have for collectors who are looking to own a piece of modern American history. The 2004 one-dime coin is a testament to the ongoing evolution of U.S. coinage. It encapsulates a period of economic growth and technological advancement, all while honoring the legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Though it may seem like a modest piece of currency, the 2004 dime holds significant value in the world of numismatics due to its design, its historical context, and the rarity of its error varieties. For collectors and investors alike, the 2004 one-dime coin represents a unique opportunity to own a piece of modern American history. With a current value of $112,000 for certain error-struck examples, the coin has proven that even in the world of everyday currency, there are rare treasures to be found. The 2016 one-dime coin may seem like just another piece of modern American currency, but it represents a key moment in the evolution of U.S. coinage. While it shares the same basic design and composition as its predecessors, this coin stands as a testament to the meticulous precision with which the U.S. Mint has approached coin production in the 21st century. Struck in the heart of the modern era, the 2016 dime is not only a functional piece of currency but also a symbol of the ongoing legacy of the Roosevelt Dime series and the broader history of American coinage. The 2016 dime was produced during a time when technological advancements in minting had reached new heights. By this year, the U.S. Mint had perfected its ability to produce coins with extreme precision, ensuring a high level of detail and a flawless finish. As a result, while the 2016 dime may appear similar to the dimes of past decades, it reflects a level of quality that sets it apart from earlier issues. Even though the 2016 dime did not contain silver, as was the case with dimes produced in the 19th and early 20th centuries, the quality of its strike made it valuable in the eyes of collectors, especially those searching for specific errors or rare varieties. To truly appreciate the significance of the 2016 one-dime coin, we must consider the historical context in which it was minted. The 2010s were a time of both recovery and change for the United States, as the country emerged from the global financial crisis of 2007 to 2008. The recession had caused widespread economic hardship, but by 2016, the nation had entered a phase of recovery, with improving employment figures and a more stable economic environment. In addition to this economic recovery, the 2016 dime was minted in an era marked by growing technological advancement and innovation. The rise of smartphones, social media, and the digital age had transformed how Americans interacted with the world, and this shift was reflected in the minting processes employed by the U.S. Mint. The advancements in coin production technology in the 2010s allowed the 2016 dime to be struck with a level of precision and detail that would have been unimaginable just a few decades earlier. Moreover, 2016 marked the end of President Barack Obama's second term in office. As the first African American president, Obama's legacy had become a significant part of the national dialogue, and many viewed his presidency as a symbol of progress and change. While the 2016 dime did not feature any overt references to Obama or his policies, it was still minted during a period that would come to be remembered as one of transition in American history. As with all Roosevelt dimes, the 2016 one-dime coin features the image of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, whose likeness has adorned the coin since its introduction in 1946. The image of Roosevelt, designed by John R. Sinek, remains one of the most recognizable presidential profiles on U.S. coinage. Roosevelt's enduring presence on the dime speaks to his role as a beacon of leadership during one of the most challenging periods in U.S. history, the Great Depression and World War II. The reverse side of the 2016 dime, like that of all Roosevelt dimes, features a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength, respectively. These symbols are simple yet profound, representing the core values that have shaped American identity over the centuries, while the design of the 2016 dime remained unchanged from the previous iterations. The 2016 coin did incorporate the Mint's most recent advances in engraving and striking technology, which allowed for cleaner and sharper details. As a result, the 2016 dime is often noted for its precise and well-defined design elements. The clarity of Roosevelt's image and the crispness of the reverse symbols made this coin highly desirable to collectors who sought coins that showcased the Mint's ability to produce coins with exceptional detail. The 2016 one-dime coin was produced at multiple U.S. Mint facilities, including the Philadelphia Mint, Denver Mint, and San Francisco Mint. The Philadelphia Mint was responsible for striking the majority of the dimes for general circulation, while the Denver Mint and San Francisco Mint produced special editions of the coin, such as proof versions. These proof coins were minted with a higher level of detail and a mirror-like finish, making them especially valuable to collectors who were looking for perfect, pristine examples. The 2016 dime, like other coins of its era, was produced using the clad composition that had been in place since the 1960s, a copper-nickel clad alloy, consisting of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. While this composition made the dime less valuable in terms of metal content, it ensured that the coin was durable and cost-effective to produce. Despite its relatively low intrinsic metal value, the 2016 dime had considerable value in the world of numismatics due to its quality and design. One of the key aspects that set the 2016 dime apart from other years was the Mint's growing expertise in high-precision minting. As the technology used to produce coins became more sophisticated, the 2016 dime benefited from this expertise. The Mint employed advanced machinery to ensure that the coin's design was struck with flawless detail, resulting in coins that were more consistent in appearance and quality than ever before. As with most years of the Roosevelt dime, the 2016 one-dime coin also saw its fair share of minting errors. While these errors were not as widespread as those seen on coins from earlier years, some of the 2016 dimes featured interesting and rare mistakes that made them especially valuable in the collector's market. Some of the most notable errors found on 2016 dimes included double strikes, off-center strikes, and die cracks. For example, some 2016 dimes were struck with multiple impressions, resulting in a double strike error. This occurs when a coin is struck more than once by the dies, causing the design to overlap or become blurred. These errors are highly prized by collectors because they are rare and visually striking, and a 2016 dime with a double strike can fetch a premium price on the open market. Depending on the severity of the error and the condition of the coin, these double-struck dimes can be worth as much as $98,000 or more. Other errors, such as misaligned dies or die cracks, also contributed to the value of the 2016 dime. These imperfections, while less common, added an element of rarity and intrigue to the coin, making it a sought-after item for numismatists looking to expand their collections with unique and imperfect pieces. For collectors, the value of the 2016 one-dime coin extends beyond its face value as a mere piece of currency. The 2016 dime represents the cutting edge of minting technology and the enduring appeal of the Roosevelt Dime series. With advancements in coin engraving, striking precision, and quality control, the 2016 dime is considered one of the most well-crafted dimes in the history of U.S. coinage. In addition to its technical qualities, the 2016 dime has also become a coveted item among collectors due to the presence of minting errors. While the mint produced billions of these coins, the rarity of error examples has driven demand in the numismatic market. As with other coins that feature imperfections, the 2016 dime is more valuable when it possesses characteristics that set it apart from its peers. The 2016 dime also holds value due to its connection to a significant period in U.S. history. The early 21st century was a time of significant change and technological advancement, and the 2016 dime serves as a snapshot of that moment. Its production is reflective of the mint's ongoing commitment to innovation and its ability to produce coins of unmatched quality, making it a worthy addition to any collection. While it may seem like a relatively recent issue, the 2016 one-dime coin has already become a valuable piece of U.S. coinage. With its impeccable strike, detailed design, and error varieties, the 2016 dime represents the pinnacle of modern minting technology and the continuing popularity of the Roosevelt Dime series. At a current value of $98,000 for error varieties, the coin has earned a prominent place in the world of numismatics. As collectors continue to seek out rare and unique coins from the modern era, the 2016 dime stands as a testament to the U.S. Mint's ability to adapt and innovate, ensuring that even in the age of digital currency, physical coins remain an important and valuable part of American history.